The showcase of the immortals, the grandest stage of them all. WrestleMania is just a few days away, and it's the perfect time to discuss what we think is going to happen on the two-night extravaganza that will be WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. Good evening, everybody. I am Jeremy Graves. Welcome to BunkaMania Wrestling, the pro wrestling talk show where we're going to be talking, as mentioned, about WrestleMania predictions, but I will not be doing it alone because, of course, I will have my cohort in crime, my tag team partner, my stablemate, all of the above, but crucially, he's also going to be my co-star in our Hollywood movie that totally does or doesn't exist, depending on who you ask. It is, of course, the Dekker, Dane, Mr. Ian Bolton. Good sir, how the heck are you doing today?
I am doing delightful. It's WrestleMania season. I'm feeling youthful. I haven't got a beard anymore. I don't think we've done a stream without me having a beard in a couple of weeks. So this is a brand new visage. I'm getting all ready for my Hollywood close-up. But yes, hello. Welcome to BunkaMania Wrestling podcast here on YouTube. I'm excited. It's Mania weekend. It's Mania week. Yay.
Indeed. It's always a big weekend. Though primarily tonight, we'll just put it out there now, we're going to be discussing WrestleMania predictions. There is so much going on WrestleMania week in general. So time depending, we might touch on one or two other bits and bobs that's also going on. But the primary focus today is WrestleMania. But before we get going, little bit of housekeeping, just to say that if you want to keep up to date with upcoming streams or videos that we publish, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. If you want to hit that notification bell, then you'll be told when we are going to be doing more streams and when new videos are available. You can also find us on Twitter, the social media platform that everyone at this point either does or doesn't love. I sort of lose track daily at this point. It is BunkaMania UK. That is the handle. Good sir, it is WrestleMania week finally. We have got there. And I am very excited for this week. And speaking of excitement, before I let you get your thoughts about how excited you are, if you are joining us live tonight here on YouTube, make sure you post in the comments how you are feeling about WrestleMania this week. And you never know, depending on what you say, we may be able to share some of those comments and discuss what you have to say as well as we go along. But before we potentially get to some of those, good sir, your feelings going into WrestleMania this weekend. How are you feeling at the moment?
I'm feeling good. I think when we were looking at WrestleMania 38 this point last year, I think a lot of people are kind of but the booking was not in a good place. A lot of storylines were not really in good places. I mean, you could still have great matches, but nothing really I think there was nothing that people were really kind of chomping at the bit. And when you're excited for like non-title matches, like obviously you have Owens versus Austin and you had Zayn versus Knoxville. I mean, I think most people were there mostly to see if Cody Rhodes would turn up in WWE, which he did. So yeah, WrestleMania 38, it was a good WrestleMania more or less, but it was a very strange sort of beast in its own right. And 12 months later, things have changed. Obviously, we've had the whole Vince has left, Vince is back sort of thing. Triple H has been leading creative. Storylines seem to be a little bit more cohesive. And yeah, we're going into WrestleMania probably with some of the... It's not been perfect builds for some of these matches, but I feel in terms of storytelling and in terms of potential, this really has potential to be a stellar Mania. It really does.
To not only echo what you said, but to add to that as well, I will go so far as to say that for the first time in a very long time, I think WrestleMania as a whole feels far more important than it has done. When you think of just the overall card, we're going to be going through all the matches shortly, but even just quickly glancing at the list I have next to me, every single match, for better or worse, I'm actually really intrigued and excited to see. Whereas in years past, there have been some matches where you're like, okay, yeah, that's a match. It's nice they're on the show. But this one, everything feels like it is there for some kind of reason. So from there are sort of a couple of caveats we need to talk about, because as it stands, folk, WrestleMania is a 2-day show, We do not know all the matches that are appearing on which corresponding days. Only a couple of matches have actually been confirmed as to which days they will be appearing on, if memory serves. So we'll be getting into those accordingly. So in terms of the ordering we're going to be discussing this in, it's kind of just in an order we have put them in, just for a point of reference for anyone listening in the future.
Yeah.
And then going, that didn't happen on night 2, as it were. That's why we've covered our bases.
Yes.
So to begin with, let's go with the match that we know for a fact is actually going to be opening night 1 of WrestleMania. So I think that's probably a good place to start, because that will set the tone for the weekend as a whole. It is, of course, John Cena challenging Austin Theory for the United States Championship. This was set up a few weeks back in a very intriguing in-ring promo segment where John Cena effectively buried Austin Theory, but in a way that's challenging him to rise above being buried. It's quite a thing when you look back on it in hindsight. So you might have to bring me up to speed a little bit, Ian, because admittedly, I've not been able to watch as much WWE the past few weeks. So has anything else significant since that burial promo actually happened in this?
Not really. I mean, Theory's been doing promos saying how he's the future still and all that sort of stuff. He's had some decent little matches of just non-title matches, really. But the most recent promo last night on Raw was him doing a promo in an empty arena, echoing Thunderdome times. Creepy times.
If you're going to remind anyone of anything in wrestling, don't remind them of that.
No. Even if it was in the actual arena they were actually doing the show from, it just seemed a bit odd. But no, again, it was like he's the future. He doesn't need to be the good guy. He doesn't need to be like an inspiration for a young kid. He is the Austin Theory side of things. I think not having Cena for some of the build has kind of possibly dented, I think, a bit of potential in terms of the storytelling aspect. But I have no doubt that when this match opens WrestleMania on Saturday, this will be a fun match. I think it will be. Hopefully, I mean, Cena did a very brief cameo appearance at the end of SmackDown, but it was more or less just do the signature moves and get the win. I think hopefully there's a little bit more of a substantial match. I'd say this probably goes about 15 minutes or so. But I think Theory wins. I mean, as much as we were all pining for that John Cena US Open challenge once again, it's just like, no, this is all about building Theory, and I think a win over Cena really starts building him further, I suppose.
Yeah, it's intriguing as well, because a completely different dynamic is, when's the last time you saw Cena potentially legitimately being cheered at WrestleMania? Because in previous years, there's been matches with The Rock. There was obviously the match that wasn't announced but did happen against The Undertaker type thing.
Yeah, I mean, people were kind of cheering for that because they just wanted to see Taker and Cena just have a little bit of a scrap. And they had a very little bit of a scrap. And it was all but what, 5 minutes? It's pretty much a squash match, really, but yeah.
Yeah, so one would assume that Austin Theory will get completely booed, which in a John Cena WrestleMania environment is almost going to be the equivalent of Bizarro World at this point, but that is what it is. I do agree that I think Austin Theory will retain. Whether it will be clean or via some skullduggery, I'm not entirely sure, but one assumes there's got to be some skullduggery, because then Austin Theory will just ride that wave, quite frankly, kind of like a Miz type thing, where he would say, like, I was the best, I did it completely clean and by the book, and people just go, sure you did, buddy, sure you did.
I think if they are really going to cement Theory as one of the next rising stars or the next potential big acts in WWE, I think something substantial has to kind of happen, and I think that also comes with a clean victory. I mean, it's like when a good example is when AJ Styles beat Cena at SummerSlam, and it was decisively clean as well. And it's like it was like a big moment had just happened before everyone's eyes, and this is just before he became WWE champion a few months later at Backlash against Mox. So the pinning Cena and having a definitive victory over Cena can mean something, can do something, but it's got to be done right, and it's got to feel earned, I suppose.
With that in mind, then, as a potential bit of character development, what if Austin Theory is going to cheat? Maybe he's going to use the title belt or something, and then he actually has almost that crisis of conscience moment. where he suddenly thinks, you know what? No, gonna do this. I'm gonna beat you. And maybe he has that realization of, I don't want anyone calling me out. What if it's the reverse of what I just said?
I think more than anything, it'll be a post-match thing. Cena will admit he's beat. He'll probably invite Austin in to get like the hands up approval and stuff like that. And maybe Austin can't process it. Maybe he's going, I shouldn't do this, but what should I do this? Should I go and get adulation from a legend and that sort of stuff? So I think there's more work in the post-match angle. And I mean, a lot of the promos have been going like, if you win, you lose. If you lose, you lose. It's kind of like, how does Austin Theory deal with after the match? I think that's where the crux of the storytelling is coming into it.
So we are both going the words. Let's try that again. So we are both going with an Austin Theory title retention.
Yes.
But specifically him beating Cena, not being DQ'd or anything.
No, I think Theory will win. I think if you're making a statement, he wins clean. That's me.
Yeah, absolutely fair. So to double back a little bit, because that is the first match of Mania weekend, but admittedly, I neglected to incorporate what's actually happening on the SmackDown before Mania, because I forget that's a thing still at this point.
Yeah.
There will be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal happening on that show.
Yeah.
There will be a bajillion amount of people inside the ring. Someone will walk away with a very oversized trophy, which I always appreciate, because to me, being a very tall man, I call it a normal size trophy.
They also have to do the traditional kind of stand with their arms, just kind of like Andre going, yes, I have won a trophy. My arms are too high for this now. They should be kind of normal down here. But for the purposes of the camera, my arms are up here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't care, to be perfectly honest. Let's because another thing we've got on our notes here is the whole thing about Bray and Bobby Lashley's match, which has been thrown up in the air because Bray Wyatt is being off with an illness of some sort. People are trying to read into it like creative difference and so forth. Basically, the official line is it's an illness. He's not cleared to compete at the moment. So we've got Lashley, I think, being positioned into the Battle Royal, which you could probably say he's a favorite to win. I kind of, because he's still pining for to do something at Mania, I really want LA Knight to win.
So this is a thing that I'm not able to keep up much with it, but I am aware that LA Knight's thing in recent weeks has been, I want to be at WrestleMania in Hollywood and I want to win. Yeah. Where technically, if he does this, it technically doesn't count. I'm just saying. But
well, he could turn up on the main show with a trophy and go yeah, and just have a whole scene go yeah at him. It's mostly people just want to do the yeah with him. That's what they want. Also, they just want to hear him talk smack because LA Knight is great at that.
So it's a quick little random note because cards on the table, folks. I actually went into Wikipedia to see if I could find the list of people in this battle royal. I can't, so I'll skip that. But interesting to note, sir, that the Wikipedia page for WrestleMania actually has seemingly a provisional card listed for night one. Specifically, I don't know if we're going to stick with that, but it's in. What we'll do, we'll come back to that when we've gone through all the matches.
Yeah,
and we'll see what we think about that because I think it might be an interesting discussion point of how things then turn out.
We can also predict what day it will appear. There we go. Let's have a bit of fun. What day and what's the result? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You figured out my plan for after we talked about the card itself, what we're going to do. So there you go, folks. Look forward to that. So also on the show, in no particular order now, but Women's Tag Team Showcase. It is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez against Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey with her broken arm and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. And you've made an addendum here saying originally Carmella, so I'm guessing Carmella is off the show.
Yeah, so basically for the last couple of weeks, Chelsea Green's been hanging out with Carmella with their sort of mini crusade against Adam Pearce. Carmella was not on the show last night for like a tag team qualifier for this match. So she teamed up with Sonya Deville and they won. So they've been added to the match. I don't know. I don't know what the full extent is. Maybe it's an injury again or something like that. Hopefully, if it is an injury, hope Carmella gets well soon. Mm-hmm. The thing is with these two showcase matches, obviously they're kind of like a way to get as many people on the card as possible. and there's not really been much build for this and the men's one, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So again, I can't really, and also a lot of these teams are makeshift, with the exception of probably Ronda and Shayna. All these teams have just been thrown together to say, "You're now a team. You're now a team. You're now a team." So it's very
the exact same thing.
So it's very hard to engage with this match. So I think it's an absolute foregone conclusion. Ronda and Shayna are winning this. Absolutely. I mean, they're the only ones coming in with a potential kind of story to it, or just basically we're badass. We're here to show you why, all that sort of stuff. So I can't. Again, I don't really have much on this match. It's Ronda and Shayna will win. That's my fault.
Yeah, I don't see it going any other way. Excuse me, unless this is their way of setting up a new tag team being a long-term thing. For example, could Liv and Raquel Rodriguez be a long-term tag team? Like that's just me throwing a dart at a board there, quite frankly, because like you said, it's clearly all just made up teams.
I think coming out of Mania, especially with SmackDown and with Raw, with the potential new champions, slight spoilers on who I think is winning those matches. You need to start positioning some of this talent as viable contenders and not just throw them together in a tag team. It's like, yeah, fans love Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, but I think people are more invested in their solo journeys and them just being best buds. I think it's only kind of worked with Shayna and Ronda, and it's also kind of worked with Chelsea and with Carmella up until last night. So yeah, I can't see this creating a brand new tag team. It's basically, yeah, Ronda and Shayna will probably start a little bit of a tear and probably get those belts off Becky and Lita some point down the line.
We also have a men's tag team showcase match, which is far more actual tag teams you're familiar with. It is the Viking Raiders against Braun Strowman and Ricochet against Alpha Academy against the Street Profits. Honestly, I mean, now speaking as someone who, again, has not been able to watch WWE television the past couple of weeks and isn't aware if there is clearly a direction they're going in, this to me is a pick'em. Like, you could pick any of them, but part of me wonders if it'll probably just be the Street Profits.
I'd say Street Profits are probably favorites in this. I mean, last night on Raw, they had a really fun 8-man tag. I think they had Braun, Ricochet, and Street Profits versus Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders. Apparently, it's a really good, fun match to watch because they're just having lots of good little moments, little sequences with each other. And again, they're all established teams. So it's kind of like, okay, this is going to be a proper good showcase for tag teams. I mean, even though they were thrown together, Strowman and Ricochet make a decent little team as well. I think storytelling at the moment is probably going to rule Alpha Academy out because Otis is being recruited by Maximum Male Models. So he's going to.
I did see this going around online.
So he might be Otis by the end of the weekend. Otis. So good. It rolls off the tongue so well. Otis. I would say it's between Street Profits or Viking Raiders. I think because you might want to have the crowd be happy for a little bit because this is probably going to be mid-cardish. This will probably be mid to lower card on either the Saturday or the Sunday. Either one of these tag showcases will be. I think if you want a nice little pick-me-up, yay, this is fun. Yeah, I see Street Profits winning.
Absolutely fair. Next up, what was originally going to kind of be like a double match thing across the entire weekend, but is now just this one trios match, if you will. It is all of Damage Control, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Bayley against Trish Stratus and the women's tag team champions Lita and Becky Lynch. This will be a fun match. I kind of just half expect Trish, Lita, and Becky to win, but I kind of really want Damage Control to win. But I think this could be a really fun match. I can just see this being really good, heaps of fun.
I think it'll be a fun match. Based on Raw from previous night, Becky kind of highlighted that Damage Control was wasting Kai and Io Sky. So they're supposed to be great singles competitors. Now they're just lackeys, and this led to a really good match between Becky and Io last night. So do go out your way to check it out. So part of me kind of thinks this is probably a potential way to start the end of Damage Control. And yeah, I mean, Damage Control do need a win, or if they are going to remain as like this force, they need to have a win. But I think the whole thing with Bayley trying to get the championship and not really winning it is kind of hurt the momentum a bit. Obviously, with Damage Control losing tag team belts as well, that's kind of put a damper on things. I think it's a babyface win for Trish, Lita, and Becky.
What's the way to phrase this without just umming over all my words? It's a shame that Damage Control could be starting to wind up because they've only been going since SummerSlam, technically.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually feel that long in the grand scheme of things, but there is kind of a natural progression with it. So if this is the start of the end of Damage Control ultimately, so be it. But given the way things have been in recent times, I'm confident, assuming some things behind the scenes aren't actually true that might be true, but that aside, I'm confident they will each find their respective places to make them be maximized as much as possible.
Yeah. I think there's potential. And again, the women's roster, it needs stars to kind of step up or be put center forward when you've got new champions around the corner. So, yeah.
Next up, Battle of Big Men. That's what I'm calling it. Just Battle of Big Men, not the Big Men, just of Big Men. It is Brock Lesnar and Omos.
Well, I have to admit, when I first heard about the match, I'm not too thrilled. I think I only want to see this match because I want to see Brock Lesnar F5 Omos. And if he does it, and if he does it well, and it doesn't look shit on camera, I think he'll probably be replayed over and over and over again. It'll be like similar to Hogan throwing Andre, slamming on Andre. It's like, the beast has slammed the giant again. I think it's a Lesnar win. Could Tommy again also goes, what if this is a convoluted ploy from backstage to try and push Omos again?
Yeah, let's put it this way, and I'm not trying to throw shade as I say this. If Omos wins in a really contrived way, it's probably it probably signifies a certain somebody is clearly having an influence on this match. If Omos wins after like a proper just battle, and he's just like, no, he actually out-muscled Lesnar, then you can tell there's probably some more logical thinking behind why Omos won. And it's probably not who we don't want it to be booking this match, as it were. But that said, why wouldn't it be Lesnar, quite frankly? Because everyone, like you say, wants to see him F5 the Giant. That is the ultimate end goal. That is what everyone's going to wait for. Also, I expect this match to go 3 minutes.
I think this will be the shortest match of the entire weekend.
That said, though, I want Lesnar to basically just be running like a freight train at Omos. I want this to be like the most cardio he's done in forever, and just get this done quickly.
I mean, they had a little scuffle on Raw last night, and Lesnar did try to knock him off, but knock him off his feet, and he couldn't do it, but then got kicked by Omos. A really good boot as well by Omos as well.
This is the thing, right? When Lesnar, what's the way to phrase this? So
when Lesnar's invested, you can have some fun.
Yeah, just look back at that Royal Rumble where he tore through half of the field.
Yeah,
it's like when as Drew was coming out, you could tell he was having a good laugh with it. When Keith Lee came out at that point, you literally saw him go, "Oh, big boy," and he was well up for it. So
it's like when he kind of sized up Gunther for a little bit. It's like, this could be fun, even though it robbed us of a dream match that we wanted to see at Mania. But probably maybe down the line, never know. SummerSlam's still around the corner. But yeah, this will be the shortest match. The two conditions also of this match is basically Brock is going to German suplex Omos, and he's going to F5 Omos as well. He needs to do at least one of those things. Otherwise, this match is a complete waste of time. And knowing our luck, Omos will probably just fall over. Brock will win somehow with maybe a Kimura lock or something. And then MVP will get F5s a couple of times just for good measure.
So here is a quick during the match prediction. During the course of the 3 minutes that we both think this will go through, will either Omos or MVP end up being put through a table?
I think Brock could be put through a table.
Oh, okay. Just like a choke slam or something?
Yeah, like a choke slam, and then when you almost thinks he's got it won, then Brock returns and does what he needs to do. But will be a short match.
Completely agree. But so I'll just go with a Lesnar win. But like I say, it wouldn't surprise me if Omos wins, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Next up, one of the matches I'm really looking forward to across the whole weekend. It's finally going to happen. It is Rey Mysterio v Dominic Mysterio. Rey finally lost his cool with Dominic and hit him. And perhaps the other crucial element, which could play into the match yet, and I'm very curious to see if they do something to further it. What's going to happen at the Hall of Fame ceremony or / induction? Because Rey is going in. Conan is going to induct him, which politically, that's quite a weird thing in and of itself, but I won't go about that for now, or I'll be here forever. But there's just so much family history with that element of it as well. Like, how is that going to play into it? Could they, for the first time ever, actually use the Hall of Fame ceremony to further a storyline for WrestleMania?
Considering the field going into Hall of Fame, it's a very low-key affair in comparison to
who is the Hall of Fame class this year now?
So we have Rey Mysterio, Stacy Keibler, Andy Kaufman is being inducted into the celebrity wing. I think Great Muta?
Muta is, because he's currently in transit.
I think those are the only people getting inducted.
Let's have a look. So we have Rey Mysterio, the Great Muta, Stacy Keibler, and Andy Kaufman in the celebrity wing. Yeah,
so 4. So this will be a very short Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and in case you're curious, the people inducting the inductees: Conan inducting Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair inducting the Great Muta, Stacy Keibler. No one's been mentioned yet.
She just got announced yesterday for it.
Oh no, but in terms of who will be inducting her, though, like that, there's no name noted here. And apparently, Jerry Lawler inducting Andy Kaufman, which makes total sense if you're familiar with the very famous feud.
I mean, just on a side tangent of the Hall of Fame bit there, just the whole Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler thing, obviously where they were really kind of pushing the shoot work side of things, like on talk shows and stuff like that. I think at the time during the time, I think a lot of people didn't know if it was, a lot of people might have thought it was like real, but it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's a strange thing, but I'm not oddly obsessed with Andy Kaufman, but it's like, I am aware of Andy Kaufman, and obviously there's Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey did reenact some of that with Jerry Lawler as well in pure Andy Kaufman to really irritate Lawler as well. So yeah, I think out of all the inductees, I'm excited to see. Obviously, Rey going in is deserved, but I'm very curious to hear from Jerry Lawler about the Andy Kaufman thing, because I think it'll be quite fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, not to deviate on this too much, because I appreciate what we're trying to stay focused on WrestleMania, but there is part of me that thinks there's already been a lot said about it, like on WWE product, like on Jerry Lawler's had a DVD out, they've had documentaries and stuff. So it kind of makes me wonder how long of a speech will it be? But also as well, I mean, I was going to say who's going to accept it on his behalf, because that's also another element of it. But yeah, honestly,
just get Dane DeVito out.
That would be freaking amazing.
in his unitard from It's Always Sunny.
But I mean, obviously, because I'm a big Japanese wrestling fan, so I'm really looking forward to seeing Muta being inducted. And Ric Flair makes a lot of sense, because quite frankly, they couldn't get Sting for obvious reasons to do it. Otherwise, that might make more sense. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Muta's speech is. I don't expect a lot of these speeches to be very long, but I'm also actually very glad now it's a regular thing that the Hall of Fame class isn't going to be very big now every year.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be, not to say less of a focus, but a more streamlined focus, as opposed to having so many people. But yeah, Rey Mysterio's speech, I'm so excited to hear it.
I mean, I think if anyone's speech is probably going to be longer than most, it'll probably be Rey.
Yeah.
And it is, because obviously I think if they do it for the headline, because with Undertaker's speech last year, it was a TED talk. It was essentially a TED talk. But for like the 1 hour that it went, it was effing captivating, to be honest.
Yeah. Take a talk. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the one dead man show, but obviously tickets are very scarce, and they're obviously quite a little bit expensive as well for WWE shows.
Yeah, they ain't cheap. Much like
No.
WrestleMania tickets in some cases.
Back to the card.
I was going to say SPAC to WrestleMania. That's the wrong way. I meant back to WrestleMania. I just had a really big Freudian slip there. So,
No.
back to WrestleMania. Hell in a Cell returns to WrestleMania.
Oh, let's rewind. We actually haven't talked about Ray versus Dom.
Actually, you're right. I was very excited about a Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So that's how much this means to me. I'm just so excited.
It's like we're excited for Hall of Fame, but we're just forgetting, which is arguably being one of the most satisfying builds for a WrestleMania match with the whole Dom and Ray thing. But I'll let you crack on.
So I'll tell you what we'll do first is let's just talk about this. The result. Dom or Ray win. What do you think? Just one word, Dom or Ray.
I think for the sheer heat magnet, and I think to actually start a Judgment Day proper push, I'm going to be devil's advocate. I think Dominic's winning.
Okay.
Even if it's through shenanigans.
I want it to be Dom. I personally don't see it being Ray any other way. I think there will be a lot of skullduggery involved, and there may be a heck of a post-match that occurs as well. Because the logic would dictate to me that this match would go on before the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Because then there could be a bit of a post-match thing, which leads Edge to coming down, and that just naturally leads into the Hell in a Cell match then beginning.
Possibly.
It would mean that you wouldn't get to hear Metalingus like at WrestleMania, which, would be a bit of a shame.
I am aware of some potential things that might happen for Edge's entrance, and I'm not going to spoil them.
Okay.
But if it's going to be as they're saying it's going to be really cool.
Okay. I mean, sure. I can't. All right, hang on. I'm going to give a clue that's just coming to my brain, and you either nod or you don't. Might Edge be brooding with excitement?
Possibly.
Okay, enough said. There you go. But yeah, Ray and Dom, I'm really, really looking forward to. I am, not to sound harsh, I'm keeping my expectations leveled because this isn't going to be like a 5-star Lucha classic. Dom is still very early into his career. But just what the match means, and whether, there may be another element added in, like, will there be a mask involved on the line? Will this be the secret retirement match of Rey Mysterio? There's so many other things they could do with a couple of days left to go.
Yeah.
How else could they add to it potentially? But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it.
There's also going to be the added factor of Legado del Fantasma, because they've been working, they've turned that faction face, not necessarily abruptly, but through just like mutual respect of Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio having like this sort of touching sharing of the mask moment backstage a couple of months ago. So it's more pretty much Rey and Fantasma. Yeah. Rey and Fantasma versus Dominic and Judgment Day. So we've got another sort of mini faction will come in. So, I mean, I think the match will be good. It's not going to be amazing, but I think the storytelling aspect of this is going to be hopefully exceptional.
Agreed. And as mentioned, Hell in a Cell is also on the show. My prediction is that this match will follow Ray and Dom. To me, that just seems like a really logical fit for it to happen. But regardless of that point specifically, one assumes we're going to get the Demon coming out because it's WrestleMania. So what better time to bust out the war paint, quite frankly.
It was confirmed on Raw last night. It will be the Demon.
Now, what incarnation of Venom will he come out as? That's the question.
No, he won't be red. He'll come out in purple. He'll come out in purple and black because most of his gear for Judgment Day has been purple and black. And that weird sort of pincushion mask, which I don't know if he's ready for fencing. He might be ready for fencing. I'm not sure.
That could be for all we know. So this match, now, I'm going to try and be delicate in how I phrase this, because recent pay-per-view matches involving Edge, I've either really enjoyed or I've really not. It's been one way or the other. I foresee this being one I'm going to like. I'm hoping it doesn't go like half an hour or so, because I think that's going to be way too long. This kind of almost needs to be not short, sharp, and to the point, given it's Hell in a Cell, but I think it needs to have perhaps a bit more of a frenetic pace to it, given how heated it is becoming. In terms of who's going to win, I am going to say a Finn Balor win. I think that is the way this needs to go, especially like you were just alluding to with Dominic, to give the Judgment Day another big push. I think Finn needs to actually get the win at this point. And whether this ends the feud or not, who knows? But I think that's the way it needs to be. And maybe just Edge ultimately accepting, you know what? So don't like you guys, but fair play. Like, you got the better of me.
I would like to see a Finn victory. I would not be surprised if Edge wins. Just to kind of, again, put this feud to bed, because this feud has to end, and it has to end at Mania. That's why we got Hell in a Cell. It's the feud ender. So let's hope it stays like that. But no, I think out of the two, the one I would like to see win and kind of take it forward in a storyline perspective, especially with Judgment Day, is Finn.
Now, I want to say that this match may have technically been leaked as being on night one from Logan Paul, because I'm sure we talked about it on the stream once before. But Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. I fully expect there is going to be some utter ridiculousness in this match, probably on the part of Logan Paul. He's going to do that one moment where we're like, oh, can you stop being so good? Like, fair play to you, but can you stop being so good, damn it?
He's gonna do a pitch perfect buckshot lariat again. I'm all gonna go. I don't like him, but my word, is that beautiful to see.
Yeah. Or he would do something off the top rope, like he would have seen like the Kenny Omega and Vikingo match and gone, oh, I can do one of that.
Don't worry, he'll strap a phone to his forehead, or he'll have a GoPro strapped to him, and he'll do something. It's Hollywood. Is he friends with people like Mr. Beast or something like that? Maybe he gets some YouTube friends to come help him out. I don't know.
Now you said that, you've actually just made me think, who's going to be in the front row during this match? How many YouTubers are going to be in the front row in the special free ticket section?
I mean, it's like, I think it's the weekend before Creator Clash, but I don't think any sort of YouTubers in Logan Paul's circle is in that sort of, because that's more like Game Grumps, nerdy side of people, unexpected people you don't expect to decide to go box.
Given that he was involved in Crown Jewel, I'm expecting like Jake Paul's probably going to get involved.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think this will be a fun match. It could be a sleeper match of the weekend candidate here as well. I think, despite the fact Logan Paul's going to be utterly, it is one of those sort of things, you're detestable but admirable, Rollins should win, and he needs to win.
I agree. What I will ask you though is, how do you think the crowd in the stadium is going to react to Logan Paul?
Oh, they're going to boo the hell out of him. They're going they are going to serenade the birthday boy with the Seth Rollins theme. It's destined in the stars.
I look forward to them deciding, oh, we can do like the world's most viral moment when they encourage everyone in the stadium at the exact same time to film the exact same moment so they can all put it on TikTok at the same time.
Of just going, wow.
Yeah, probably. Or Logan Paul just doing like a 1080 flip or something.
And Seth in like Liberace garb. Just going,
channeling his inner Joker.
No, yeah, he should turn up his Joker like he did for the WrestleMania video. Just doing his own. Oh no, he should come out like Cesar Romero, Batman Joker. Yes.
Okay, all I'm going to say is, don't forget we need to talk about entrances when we get to the end of this. All right, so we've got to talk about match. We've got to talk about match order. We also need to talk about entrances. Okay, when it comes to Mania, so we'll discuss that as a separate point, because potentially one of these two may steal it at the weekend. So the Raw Women's Championship match: Asuka challenging Bianca Belair. I think this will be one of the matches of the weekend. This is going to be great stuff. I am super excited. Just because I'm a giant Asuka fan, I want Asuka to win. but it wouldn't surprise me if Belair retains. But then my immediate thought is, who would be next for Belair?
I think as much as Bella has been a great champion and she clearly is a crowd favorite, you do start to run the risk of turning her into like a Cena wins LOL performer in a way. And you don't really want to see that. I think there's great storytelling in the chase, and we saw that with Bianca chasing Becky up till last year's WrestleMania. So I think, again, I'm with you. I think Asuka ends the reign, the near year-long reign as well. So, yeah,
I guess it would be at this point, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Bianca won it at Mania last year. So, yeah, Asuka wins. And I think the fact that we've got Dark Asuka here, channeling the Kana side of stuff, I think that's more fascinating. And again, you can bring up some baby faces to go up against that, and she can just destroy them. It'll be fun.
Be great. Speaking of women's championships, the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley challenging Charlotte Flair, who really didn't like getting the what treatment on SmackDown.
It's like, you can't boo me. I'm the babyface. No, you're not.
Oh, it was just a wonderfully fascinating moment, that, wasn't it?
It's like, why are you booing me? Because we don't like you.
Take the hint. Ripley needs to win this. I want Ripley to win this. Yes. I really hope Charlotte doesn't retain. But and now also, that being said, it potentially could be a clean sweep for Judgment Day at Mania then at that point.
Could be.
But yeah, just the whole Charlotte thing. Again, I've not actually seen a lot of Charlotte stuff since she's come back. It's just how I've indulged in WWE programming in general. I've not seen a lot of full shows. It's not lit my world on fire, quite frankly. Nothing against her. It's just I want Ripley to be champ, and I think everyone wants Ripley to be champ as well.
Yeah, I mean the build for this has not been great. I think the storytelling aspect from Rhea's motives to go after the belt makes sense. She had a massive knockback during the Mania in the Performance Center when she lost the NXT Championship, and yeah, she is a completely different performer now, different presence, all's come. So it's a full circle moment for her to beat Flair at Mania. There is no other way around this match. It's basically Rhea has to win this, or Rhea doesn't just have to. I think for the sake of the booking for the women's division on SmackDown, she needs to win this.
Agreed. But not much more to say than that. Not trying to not talk about those two matches. It's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean, the slight downside, I think, on the build has been the two women's championship matches have not necessarily had the strongest of builds. But I think it's a testament to the quality of the roster that I think we both know that these two women's championship matches, given time and planned properly, these will be great fun to watch.
100%. But both of these could potentially steal the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally. So, we now have a three-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. It is Gunther defending his record-setting reign, or it is record-setting in some way at this point, against Sheamus and McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Gunther in one match. To quote a wrestler, so little sidebar story, but you'll get it. So I went to a show once. It was a Dragon Gate show that came over to the UK, and there was a match involving two wrestlers. One of them got kicked the other one who was sitting on the apron, and I was like, if you imagine the camera like I'm the wrestler falling towards the audience, I was in the audience. He just fell on top of us and just said, "Stiff." It was just a really stiff kick. I imagine that's what this match is going to be.
I think,
and it's going to be great.
I think if this match is done well, and I think if it's structured properly, dare I say it, Dave might give out more than 5 stars if it's properly planned. You never know.
I demand just like a 10-minute chop battle. That's what I want.
I think you're going to have a triangle chop battle. One chop. It'll be fun, and people are just going to lap it up. And I think I think because everyone knows how hard hitting those 3 wrestlers are in their matches. It's just like it's just going to be a fun match. You just want to have fun with this match. You want to feel the chops. You want to kind of wince with some of the chops and some of the slams and the clotheslines and the power bombs and the bro kicks and the beats of the powerhouse, whatever it's called.
The Claymore and whatnot.
The Claymore, that sort of stuff. Future Shock, DDT, Last and Free, all that sort of stuff. But I think, as much as I think people would like Sheamus to win, I think Gunther retains. I think they're going to make him break Honky Tonk's record, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, this is the thing. If there was ever a time for Gunther to lose the belt and him not be pinned to lose it either, and if they really wanted to, they could go down the whole what was years ago in TNA wrestling when Samoa Joe was technically he lost the title in a 3-way but was never pinned. They could still claim he's undefeated if they really wanted to elevate him up to like the world title status. But like you say, I think it would be really cool if he did break the Honky Tonk Man's record. It's been such a deserving reign as well to break the record. Some of the great matches that have been going on week in and week out, excellently built stuff, just the wars that we have seen. I firmly expect someone's chest is literally going to look like a slab of steak about to be put on the grill at the end of this.
Pretty much, yes.
And yeah, I want Gunther to retain purely so he will then potentially go on to break the record. Part of me thinks, though, like I say, if there was ever a time to do it and to make him lose, this might be it. If I had to pick between McIntyre and Sheamus, I'd probably go with Sheamus, given there's kind of the long story there with Gunther at this point, and it would always make sense.
Yeah, I think if Gunther is to lose the belt, Sheamus is by far the absolute cert to take the belt. Because, again, they've been telling the story like it's the one belt he has not won. And I think he will win it, but he's not going to win it here. And I think maybe it comes in like a third one-on-one, probably with Gunther down the line. Or maybe it's someone else. Who knows? But yeah, I think from a story perspective and even from my heart perspective, I just want to see Gunther win. Yeah,
agreed with you on that. Next up, again, one of the biggest matches of the weekend and potentially a show. That last match we just discussed could be a show stealer, the triple threat for the IC title. This match could also steal the show. Undisputed WWE Universal Tag Team title match. Sorry, try that again. Yeah, Undisputed WWE Universal. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. I got there in the end. I got too many words. Too many
lots of words
and whatnot. Multiverses, there you go. It is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn challenging the Usos for those tag team championship belts. I am so looking forward to this match. It's going to be emotionally wonderful to watch. It's going to be a spectacle in and of itself. At this point, this may impact how I think about the main event, but I don't see at this point, when it comes to the main event and this, one of the two sides of the bloodline has got to lose the title. At least one. Part of me wonders if the Usos will retain, but I think at this point, give it to Zayn and Owens. My heart wants it to be Zayn and Owens. But part of me wonders, will the Usos keep it? It's in the back of my brain, but it feels like it's the most natural time for them to lose the belts.
Yeah. I as much as I can see kind of like the doubt and kind of maybe not. It's like, no, I think this has been perfectly story crafted to absolute protection. Yes. So yeah, to absolute perfection. So I think in all honesty, yeah, Zayn and Owens should win this.
100% agree. The main event of WrestleMania for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. It is Cody Rhodes challenging Roman Reigns. This match is going to be massive. This match easily is the biggest match of WrestleMania this year. It just is. this in itself is going to be an emotional spectacle, quite frankly. I think we've seen a lot of times where you felt like it was the right time for Roman to lose. There was Clash at the Castle with Drew. There was Elimination Chamber with Sami Zayn. Both of those times, it felt like if you were gonna pull that trigger, that was the time to do it. I think this time is finally when Roman is going to lose. This feels like the time, it feels just the optimal time to do it. Building up everything. In some ways, it will be an utter incredible spectacle if/when Roman does lose the belt. But the biggest stage of them all, the biggest event of the year, the biggest match of the year that's been built up, I think Cody has to walk out with the belt Sunday.
I think it's all been kind of teed up. It's all been kind of teed up since day one, really, hasn't it? Sorry, I've just seen in the chat. I've just seen in the chat from someone shouting, "Roman abdicates."
Imagine if that's what happens.
Shout out to Claire Coppin there. Roman abdicates. He abdicates. No. I think just like Zayn, Owens, and the Usos, I think this story has been, again, I think when a lot of people were kind of downhearted that Zayn wasn't going to main event against Reigns, I think a lot of people were kind of poo-pooing, I guess, on the idea or the notion of this is direction. But I think if the last couple of weeks since Elimination Chamber has taught us anything, it's that the storylines are exactly as they need to be. And they are working very well. They are very satisfactory. They're very rewarding as well. And yeah, there's always that slight bloody niggle that Roman's going to retain. It's like we all thought Drew was going to do it. And then Roman retained. And so part of me, I mean, it's like you kind of want to say you're 99.9% absolutely certain that Cody Rhodes is taking this belt. He really is. Like, it's gonna be drama. It's gonna be sports entertainment on the highest level. I want Cody to win. I want Cody to win, and I think Cody should win. But there's that niggling little doubt. That Reigns retains, or the Reigns retains. Claire said in the chat.
Not to just sound like a broken record and kind of repeat what you said, but the great... Okay, this is how I'm going to phrase this. The best thing about this main event is that everyone has a preconceived notion of how logically this should go, how emotionally you want it to go, but there's that 1% doubt in your mind, which has happened, like we've said, a few times at this point, that just make you think, what if it doesn't happen? What if? And it's that what if that makes this fascinating television to watch, let alone just fascinating wrestling and storytelling, just fascinating television. But I think at this point, if Roman doesn't lose, where the heck do they go next? Hypothetically, what could potentially be next?
I mean, I don't know who else dethrones him. I really don't know. I mean, you've got the storytelling inside the blood. I think you can tell the next chapter of the bloodline and the implosion of the bloodline without belts. I think losing the belts is what takes us towards the implosion of the bloodline.
That should be the catalyst.
Yeah, and it's all been kind of signposted already by Cody because Cody last week said that Solo isn't ready to face Cody Rhodes. He took on Cody Rhodes last night. He lost. And he said Roman's not ready for Cody Rhodes. And it's kind of like the prophecy that Cody is saying is starting to come true. But again, it could be a whole bloody misdirect and Reigns retains. Oh.
Okay, so when it comes to what could occur during the match, let's do a little prognostication here.
Ref bumps. I think there'll be some ref bumps.
So how many? And one assumes... So, okay, this is the thing as well that we don't know yet, and this kind of plays into our little game we're going to do shortly about when the matches will take place. Will the Usos even be in the building or be physically able to get involved? Because as far as I'm aware, Solo Sikoa is not on WrestleMania anywhere, so logically, it may only be him and or Heyman that is about to assist Roman, depending when the tag title match happens.
I think there's potential for more storyline to go on during the weekend or during the two shows. I guess the whole thing of Solo thinking he was ready to take on Cody and losing again creates tension between Reigns and Solo. And I think if you go ahead and the Usos lose the belts, you've got the storyline aspect of the Usos not necessarily again at frictions with Roman, and basically all the armor, all the protection that Roman's had is crumbling, and it's like he could very well be on his own, except with Heyman, and that could be the case. There could be a massive falling out at some point, and Roman's by himself. So that, I think I think the storyline aspect of this is fascinating. I think the wrestling's going to be amazing on this because they're both great wrestlers. But I think the storytelling, the fall of Rome, the fall of the Roman. There we go, done. There you go. But yeah, it's like I think if we're ready to move into the next phase of the bloodline or the fall of the bloodline, this has to happen. You can't just fall with just going, oh, I'm still a champion, I'm gonna keep the belts forever. Because I think at this time now, I think we as fans have been very patient with this, and it's not to say the reign's been terrible. I think the reign has been absolutely commendable for Reigns. If you said when he picked up the belt in 2020 he'd be holding that belt till now, I think a lot of people would say you're laughing. And not just he'll hold the belt, but have one of the most engaging storylines we've seen in wrestling. I think a lot of people would be laughing as well. So, yeah, all great villains have to come down eventually, and it's Roman's time.
So, folks, that is WrestleMania weekend. Hope you're looking forward to it. Excuse me, as much as we are. We will be back next week. We're going live next week, right? Good, sir.
Yes,
that's the plan, isn't it? We're going to review the show during the week. We'll confirm the date. Looking to be Tuesday or Wednesday next week. I mean, to say Wednesday next week.
Yes, Wednesday next week, because I'm off to Nottingham on Thursday for a convention. So I'll be trying to watch WrestleMania at said convention. And then I'm off to a wedding in Sheffield, and I'm not back from the wedding in Sheffield till Wednesday afternoon. So yes, next Wednesday evening is when I'm going to be talking about it.
So yeah, just wanted to say that now, because if you want to tune in next week, then that's when we'll be doing it. Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. most likely. But before we go, we got some more things we want to talk about. So that's the WrestleMania discussion specifically. But good sir, before we get to additional topics that we're going to touch on, including some games, what do you want to say?
Also, for your WrestleMania weekend, because it's Hollywood and because they're going to the movies, we're going to the movies too. So on Friday, we are going to launch our first one of 4 exclusive audio podcasts of BunkaMania Wrestling Goes to the Movies. Myself and a tag team partner will be talking about WWE studio movies in each episode. And the first episode dropping on Friday is me and my tag team partner, one Jeremy Graves. And we're going to be talking about The Condemned, starring Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bit of a fascinating little conversation. Do join us on that. So search for BunkaMania Wrestling Podcast on all good podcast providers. Hit subscribe and you'll get the episode as soon as it's released. Other films we're going to be covering, Bending the Rules, starring Edge and Jamie Kennedy. We've also got Countdown with Dolph Ziggler, Kane, and Rusev with a gun. Or Miro with a gun, if you want to be more specific about it now. And it will finish off with Triple H's The Chaperone, which, shockingly, I have to say, was a lot better than I thought it had any right to be.
Is that because the bar had been set so low?
Possibly. But I think the bar starts so low with The Condemned. Everything else just seems like a lovely trip for a rosy meadow, to be perfectly honest. We've actually got a good question. We've actually got a good question in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Now that all the movie parodies WWE have released for this year's WrestleMania have been done, which one has been your favorite? So we've had Joker with Seth Rollins. We've had Top Gun with Miz and Maurice. We've had Titanic with Bianca and Montez. We've had 40-Year-Old Virgin with Ridge, Sheamus, Butch, and Drew McIntyre. And I think it's all finished with Goodfellas, with the Bloodline.
Yeah.
And it's so we've had those ones. I have to say I was really looking forward to the Goodfellas one, and it didn't disappoint, even though it's like it's only like 3 minutes. It's like, It's perfect. You got Roman Reigns as Joe Pesci. Just going, I amuse you. I'm funny like a clown. And then he attacks a waiter for asking for WrestleMania tickets.
No, he was asking for the bill, and he said he asked me before he wanted WrestleMania tickets.
Everyone he will love.
Truth be told, I've only seen the Joker and the Goodfellas one. I don't know why, in hindsight, I haven't seen the others yet. But
the others are all on YouTube. But the Stranger Things of Rhea Ripley. That was a good one as well.
I need to check that out.
The Stranger Things one was quite
was that not be The Usual Suspects?
No, Stranger Things. She's 11. She's 11. I think they might have done Usual Suspects for WrestleMania 21.
That might be what I'm thinking. So, so I'm going to default to saying the final one with the Bloodline that aired like last night. I think it was, because it was just good fun. It was a short to the point scene and really good fun. And what it also actually is as well, it's also like that kind of what if scenario if Roman actually does finally get a bit pissed off with Paul Heyman and just questions him. It's like, what do you mean? It's kind of that thing of, is this what could actually happen during the Bloodline Crumbles arc of the story?
Yeah.
So, good. So, we mentioned we were going to talk about what matches we thought would take place and when. So, just as a little game, as it were, we're not going to do this in any kind of massive, prognostication type thing, but any predictions as to specific matches you think categorically will take place on certain nights from the ones that we don't know?
I think we'll have a showcase tag on each day. They won't be both on the same night. I don't care which order. I think night one is going to be probably main evented by Ripley versus Flair or Zayn Owens and the Usos. I kind of want it to be the Usos because the storytelling's kind of really deserved that. But I think either one will be fine. I think if the Women's Championship is on Saturday, SmackDown one, Raw will be on Sunday. Rollins versus Logan Paul, depending on when Logan Paul's birthday is. I think that's when the match is happening. The fact matter is, I don't really know. It's like it's kind of like, here is a match. Will you like the match? I think if you're able to split, I mean, looking at the card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are legitimately 9 good matches, potentially amazing matches on this card. And that's not a disservice to anything else. It's basically, I think, for expectations, 9 of these matches could deliver in spades. So I think if you comfortably separate that out and you use the other matches to pad. So I mean, it's like again, the Brock Lesnar Osmos, I don't think is going to be the ones that a lot of people are looking forward to. As much as you got legends there for Damage Control versus Trish, Becky, and Lita, again, build hasn't been great for that. And then you got the tag showcase. Yeah.
So I think that the Intercontinental title 3-way will be night 1. Because that's probably going to be one of the show stealers of the weekend. And I can imagine almost...
It'll be a mid-carder. It'll be a mid-card main event.
I think that will be the semi-main event of night 1.
Okay.
With my thought being, then, it will either be the tag title match or one of the women's title matches main eventing. I personally think that one of the women's titles matches, specifically Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, should main event night 1. Because I just really like that as an idea. But I just can't get it out of my mind that, like you say, the way it's been built, how vital the whole Sami Zayn dynamic has been for the better part of a year now. It feels like it should be a main event. I don't want to say main event worthy match, but it should be a main event of a WrestleMania in some way.
I think if the storytelling for Rhea and Charlotte was really, really good, and it was really captivating, I think you would have seen this very comfortably as your night 1 main event. And I think that's just been a frustrating thing of this. I mean, it's like we said earlier, on paper and in practicality, when they have the match will be very, very good. We've seen them have matches before, and they've been very, very good. And I think this will be another excellent one. But yeah, it's like I can't see any other match right now main eventing night 1 than Zayn Owens and the Usos. Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, I stand by it. I think the storytelling has earned it, and the crowd investment's earned it.
I will also say I think that Rey and Dominic Mysterio's match will probably be on night 2. Part of me just thinks that they can do like a recap of should anything happen on SmackDown / the Hall of Fame ceremony on Friday night. There's like another day to recap that during WrestleMania night 1.
Well, we'll have the Hall of Fame. You'll have the Hall of Fame stepping out and waving to everyone 2 nights in a row. So maybe it kicks off after the second. Thank you. I'm a Hall of Famer now. Bye.
Now let's go to the ring.
Yeah, let's go to the ring and kick my son in the dick.
So with that in mind, we've given some thoughts as to some of the matches we think will take place and when. According to the ever-reliable source that is or could be Wikipedia, the WrestleMania page says the following matches will take place on night 1 specifically.
Okay.
Austin Theory, John Cena, for obvious reasons.
And that's officially been announced. Yeah.
Seth Rollins, Logan Paul.
All right.
Trish, Lita, and Becky against Damage Control.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar v. Omos. Bianca v. Asuka. And Charlotte v. Rhea. That's what they say, according to them. I mean, they've obviously got the convenient thing of cards subject to change, but this is what they have specifically listed as night 1.
I mean, therefore, you could make night 2 all about the bloodline fall. Open with Kevin and Sami versus Usos. So that could, let that, sorry, I've just been distracted in the chat by someone quotating my, let's go kick my, I mean, Ray's been wanting to do it for some time. I mean, his son did it to him back in Wales last year. And we all rejoiced for some reason. I don't know why. Harriet knows.
People can spin that out of context.
Harriet knows we were in a pub and everyone was shouting, hit your dad. Your dad. Don't hit your dads. Family's important. Think of Vin Diesel. I don't know where we're going with this.
Well, you were saying that you think now that Owens and Zayn could open night 2.
Yes, we could.
Based on that Wikipedia listing.
They could. I think if they don't main event night 1, opening night 2 will be good because then it's the precursor to the fall of the bloodline. And then you have the storyline aspects of the Usos kind of upset they lost the belt. Reigns upset that they've lost the belts. They get into a bickering thing. The Usos leave Reigns. Solo leaves Reigns. Reigns goes, woe is me. The Roman Empire falls. Mount Pompeii fires magma in the air. And that's the end of Reigns. I don't know where I'm going with this.
That's fine. Well, just to put this into context, the confirmed for night 2, as it were, Roman Reigns and Cody. That's all they've confirmed for night 2.
Oh, good. It's going to be 3 hours. It's 3 hours of Cody versus Roman, which might not necessarily be a bad thing, but it would be.
I mean, look, Roman's entrance alone might take that long.
I mean, Cody wants the most pyro ever for an entrance. And it's like, I think you have to talk to Tyson Fury. He had a lot when he was at Crown Jewel years ago.
I mean, look, if we go on the basis that Roman's theme song alone takes about a minute to kick in,
I mean,
plus the awful AR graphic of Roman shouting to the clouds,
yes,
and how long the WrestleMania ramp may be, Roman's entrance legitimately may be like 10 minutes long. It was already long enough at the Royal Rumble.
It goes with the song. It's like, look, and they're like, da, 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 da. Look, everybody, there's Roman Reigns. Look there, everybody, look. Roman Reigns is walking to the ring. It's basically, if you put lyrics to the song, if you put lyrics to that song, it's all about people being told, look, everyone, Roman Reigns is walking to the ring. He's so tall. He's got a beard.
So what about this? What if they carry on the movie parody thing and they come out like in a proper old school car, all dressed in suits, and they drive down to the ring?
And they have Tommy guns. They fire fireworks into the sky.
There you go. So talking of entrances, actually, who do you think might have the WrestleMania stealing entrance of the weekend? You mentioned that Cody wants the most pyro ever, which I'm sure
he does.
Which I'm sure. Wait, are they in an outdoor stadium or is it indoor?
I think it has a retractable roof.
SoFi Stadium, is it? Yeah, it can be indoor technically, I think, by the look of it.
Yeah. I think I think in terms of best entrance, I think Finn Balor will have a good return as the Demon. I think we'll say that. I don't know. I don't know who else would have a really good entrance.
I can imagine that
yeah.
Seth Rollins' might be something.
Seth Rollins will just be in a really ridiculous outfit. There'll be flames and people going, wow.
I reckon Logan Paul's might be the most blinding.
He'll have all
in terms of there'll be so
giant
many
Pokemon card.
Yeah, he may just come out as a giant Pokemon card.
No, he's gonna come out with a cannon full of Prime Drink and he's just gonna shoot it at people.
There are lawsuits waiting to happen.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think Logan Paul's entrance might be one of the most just blinding. Like I might have to look away from the screen because of how seizure inducing it is or something. I could imagine Edge might also be a contender for a lot of pyro, depending on what music he comes out to.
Yeah. I mean, Cena might do something special for the 20 years of Cena, because we're still technically in the 20 years of Cena.
Maybe he'll come out as a Dr. Thugonomics John Cena again.
Oh, if he comes out as Dr. Thugonomics.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was at that WrestleMania when that happened. I lost my shit.
It's word life. It's basic Thugonomics. Basic Thugonomics. One of the levels in the season mode or in the showcase mode for 2K23, you have the Vengeance match against Undertaker, which is quite good fun.
And you know what, I'm right. You just mentioned 2K23. I want to deviate and talk about something really stupid I've heard about 2K23. And this is no shade on the gameplay specifically.
This sounds like shade.
Well, okay, see if you agree with this. DLC. There are more characters coming out. Are you aware currently in the USA only there is an unlockable character you can get if you buy a figure in Walmart?
I am aware of that, which is cool but annoying. But
it's dumb.
I'm not. But the fact of the matter is, but Jeremy, do you want to be action figure John Cena or do you want to be Invisible John Cena? Because I think Invisible John Cena has a lot more mileage to it.
I mean, look, currently you can't see him either way if you're outside the US. So,
oh, the puns. I mean, you never know. Maybe towards the end of 2K23's run, or maybe down the line they release it or something. I mean,
I just find it incredibly dumb that there is essentially region exclusive buy-in promotional DLC.
Maybe it is just exclusivity locked for a little bit, and eventually it will appear at some point. Yeah, maybe
when the figures run out.
Yeah, pretty much.
But so, sir, I think that's pretty going to wrap up the WrestleMania specific talk from my point of view. But is there anything else additional regarding WrestleMania from a WWE side of things that you want to make mention of?
No. I think it's going to be a fun weekend. I mean, it's part of tradition now. The stage reveal is always quite cool. It'll be interesting to see what it's like. It's gonna if it's Hollywood, you've got to have a giant movie screen and you've got to have a giant film reel on the stage. If not, I think that's a big disservice.
Because have they shown it yet, or is it not?
No. They do it. They do it the night before. So I think they do it on the Friday night, or they do it Friday night. Because last year they did it with Pat McAfee throwing a very long ball down some steps into a bucket, and it all just set off the fireworks. And then the Weeknd song of "It's the Weekend, it's the Weekend, it's the Weekend" is playing. You know, Jeremy, that tradition of WrestleMania songs sung by the Weeknd. This will be his 4th consecutive WrestleMania he's an official artist. That is a strange fact. I mean, yes.
Because the reason I mention that is because elsewhere around WrestleMania weekend, there is a heck of a lot of wrestling going on. I'm not going to go too deep into what there is, but there is so much being shown. You can look up, I think it's at WrestleCon, a lot of stuff is happening. If you go on fight.tv, there is a boatload of stuff happening there, including the Ring of Honor pay-per-view on Friday night, which the card for it looks phenomenal. The Super Card of Honor. It's going to be headlined by Claudio Castagnoli and Eddie Kingston, of which, you're waving your finger at me.
The question though is, will it be the last match for Brian Cage in ROH/AEW? Because he's rumored to be on the way out. Who knows?
Yeah, there were rumors of that a while ago, I think, as well.
Yeah,
contract-wise.
Yeah, But it's like, is this the weekend Jay White turns up somewhere? Possibly.
Exactly. But Super Card of Honor, though, I will implore you, it's for free on ROH's YouTube. There is a wonderful... No. Sorry, let me clarify. Sorry. Regarding
Don't promise me things, Jeremy.
Sorry. Regarding Super Card of Honor, comma, on ROH's YouTube, there is a free video essay detailing the history of Claudio and Eddie Kingston, which was done by a YouTuber whose name completely escapes me off the top of my head. I'm really gutted I can't remember it, but it was a YouTuber who actually did that essay way before, like talking about the history of the two. And seemingly Tony Khan brought him in to kind of make an official version, adding in the AEW elements. If you want like a 15-minute video to give you all the history as to why there is such a rivalry, it goes back to their days in Chikara and stuff as well. It's really worth going out of your way to watch it. And I'm really annoyed I can't remember the name of the person who did it. So I'll try and look it up as we're talking. But the card itself, though, there's going to be the ladder match, the Reach for the Sky ladder match to determine new tag team champions. Obviously, a tribute to Jay Briscoe in the naming there. Mm-hmm. It's got Mark Briscoe and Samoa Joe for the TV title. Wheeler Yuta and Katsuyori Shibata of New Japan Pro Wrestling for the Pure title. It's going to be freaking great. But also, like, there are loads of other matches as well that are going to stand out. You know what else has just been announced as well? For the AAA Mega title, Commander, the guy who did the ridiculous stuff during the ladder match a few weeks back, against Vikingo.
Oh dear. That'll be fun. That'll be bouncy.
It's going to be mental.
There'll be spin dashes through tables. It'll be amazing.
There'll be something that happens like that, I can assure you. Also, GCW are running a few shows. They've got a whole bunch going on. They've got their traditional blood sport show, which will be fun, to say the least.
Kota Ibushi's doing some stuff.
Kota Ibushi is going to be on 2 shows, I believe. One of them, he is wrestling Joey Janela, so that's going to be bonkers as well.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much wrestling going on. If you need a fix of wrestling for the better part of a month in a weekend, this is the weekend to do it.
But Jeremy, I might be too exhausted wrestling by the end of it. What will I do, Jeremy, with so much wrestling? I mean, there's NXT Stand and Deliver on the Saturday afternoon before WrestleMania.
Oh my God, is there?
And that card looked pretty good as well.
Is there really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. You got Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes for the for NXT Championship. You've got a ladder match for the Women's Championship. So far, I think it's Zoe Stark, Tiffany Stratton, Valkyrie. I can't remember who the other one is. Off the top of my head, I don't know. There's so many. I mean, Wesley's in a multi-man match with Ilya Dragunov, JD Madonna, and Dragon Lee making his NXT debut. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Awesome. And the Rock's daughter's going to make her ring debut in Stand All Over in the weirdly multi-person match of Tyler Bate and Chase University versus the Schism. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
It is a match. It is a match.
By the way, quick correction from me. The video essay on Claudio and Eddie Kingston I was talking about, the person's name is Joseph Montecillo.
There we go.
There you go. But yeah, it's a fantastic video essay, so I do go and implore all you folks to go and watch it. As mentioned earlier, I think it's after SmackDown. It'll be the Hall of Fame induction, because that's how they did it about a year ago.
Straight after SmackDown.
Yep, so there's that going on as well. There is, quite frankly, and I mean this in a positive way, there's far too much wrestling going on.
There's so much wrestling going on. I can't do all the wrestling, Jeremy. I'm going to get too exhausted. I can't do anime conventions and wrestling at the same time, Jeremy. It's too much to ask. But I'm going to try.
Let me see if I can find a rundown of what is going on this weekend. Because there's got to be one somewhere.
I'm sure there's a calendar we can share on social media. But...
So if I do this based purely just on Friday onwards, because we
haven't even touched on the Raw after Mania.
I mean, WrestleMania Monday, the wildest crowd of the year.
I mean, where everything's upside down and back to front, and whoa, it's to the wave. Don't know what.
I'm currently on voicesofwrestling.com. We've got like a massive rundown of everything that's going on. Like on Thursday, there is, in fact, that's when Bloodsport takes place, just to make reference of that, which Kota Ibushi and Speedball Mike Bailey are in Bloodsport. I need to watch this show. Oh, flipping heck. Yeah, then they've got the big memorial show, super show, excuse me, the Mark Hitchcock memorial show, which is going to also have a AAA Mega Championship match. Vikingo v Commander v Taurus. That's going to be wild in itself. There's also Josh Alexander is listed here, but unfortunately he's actually had to relinquish the Impact title due to injury, so that's gutting to say the least.
Yeah, I think Mickey James is also injured as well.
I believe so, yeah. Michael Oku is going to be appearing. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. I was at the Rev Pro show this past weekend.
Oh, lovely.
I went to the Rev Pro show in York Hall. I might do something separately about that, but very, very good show. Very good show. It's, if you get a chance to watch it on Rev Pro's on-demand service, do go out your way to see it. Oku versus Zack Sabre Jr. was great. There was also a surprise bonus match of Robbie X v Leo Rush.
Oh.
That was a surprise match. It was so good. Anyway, I digress. Continue.
But we have one more question, I think, before we start wrapping up, and it is from Manga Girl. And we've got do you think there'll be any surprise returns at Mania or Raw after Mania? I think in terms of returns, I think Randy Orton, is due to come back now. I think he's now fully on the mend. So I think Orton is due to return at some point. So that'd be nice to see him. I think there's also a rumor that Big E will probably make an appearance. It might not be wrestling, but he'll just be there just to say hi, maybe or so. So that'll be nice to see him there. I think the return that I think is possibly the most likely is Matt Cardona. Because because yeah, I think he's still out of. I think he's finally out of contract now, and his missus is Chelsea Green, and she's in WWE, so kind of most things kind of lead there, I suppose. I mean, I think if he comes back, I don't really want to see him as Zack Ryder. I want to see him as Matt Cardona.
It will be interesting. Should that happen, I think that will be the most intriguing part. Is will it be Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder?
I think out of all the potential sudden returns that are not people who are injured, I think that is a likelihood, or that is a possibility. I mean, I'll still pine for Nick Aldis. He's still a free agent. Eventually he'll turn up and go, "Hello everyone, I'm here to beat Cody now." Yes, or something like that. There you go. Cody's first challenger's already there. It's all nice.
Do you know, I honestly can't think off the top of my head who else is either currently out injured who could be due a return or who just hasn't been around for a bit.
I mean, one of the other stories this past week, Kairi Sane does not have a contract with New Japan anymore or Stardom. So she has gone on record in an interview saying that she would like to face people like Io Sky again and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, might be a return. And apparently she left on very good terms with WWE. So it's like, maybe Kairi Sane turns up to help Io Sky leave Damage Control. Who knows?
Talking about contracts, Mercedes Monet's only got one more match on her New Japan Stardom contract.
Yeah. I mean,
but then again, Sakura Genesis doesn't take place until mid-April, I think.
Yeah, I feel I'm quite comfortable if Monet's not necessarily coming. I think at the moment, I think it's more exciting to see what Mercedes Moné does outside of WWE at the moment than immediately trying to bring it. Just having one or two matches outside, then coming straight back seems a little bit of a, well, this is weird. So I think you'd probably see her on the indie circuit for maybe a year or so, and then maybe come back. Maybe, I don't know, but then again, Hollywood. You've had Mandalorians back, all that sort of stuff. So stock is probably going up again. So.
Just to mention a couple of other shows that are taking place over Mania weekend. The evening of March the 31st, which I think is either running it can't be running head to head based on who's on the card. But either way, there is also a DDT show, DDT from Japan, running an event, which it's got some great matches on there if you're interested in that, including Jun Akiyama and Eddie Kingston teaming up following all of the stuff that happened a while ago in AEW. There's also the New Japan and Impact Multiverse United show, which should be good fun. It's going to have Tanahashi v Mike Bailey as one of the featured matches. There is a massive tag team match here, which I'm trying to read all the names. It's the Bullet Club duo of Ace Austin and Chris Bay against Aussie Open, against TMDK, against the Motor City Machine Guns. Well, that should be a good match. Yeah, there is Do you know what? I'm just going to say, folks, go to Voices of Wrestling, go to voicesofwrestling.com. They literally have the entire schedule posted for all the shows that are going on over Mania weekend and which ones you can buy and watch online and stuff. So it's definitely worth going out of your way to utilize their source, quite frankly, for the stuff that is happening. There is so much going on. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm just flabbergasted at how much is going on. I've sort of forgotten. I will stop looking at that. Good sir, before we go, I feel this is the optimum time to do this. For over a year now, next to my desk every time we do a podcast, I have had a box ready to open. And I think now is finally the time that we do this.
Well, that's completely out of date.
Yeah, look, that's not the point, all right?
£10 for 81 stickers.
You heard. So I'm gonna. So it's a tin. There you go. So so what I'm gonna
do you have to unwrap the stickers, or are they just in the tin already unwrapped?
So there are lots of packs of stickers in here. I will demonstrate many packs of stickers, as it were, to indicate what we could potentially get in here, because there are already some extra promo ones. There's a Superstars sticker, of which a few people on there aren't there anymore, so we'll put that away.
Well, only one.
So in this pack that I got, which has some trading cards and stuff, it was a pack of slam attacks and stuff. Got a Shotzi card.
Mm-hmm.
We got a Tucker card. That's in date. Wrestle Talk will be happy.
Yep.
Angel Garza, now just known as Angel in current day circumstances. We've got Abby the Witch from the Wyatt family.
I mean, she kind of is still about.
Montez Ford. And then we get to shiny territory with a very, very up-to-date card of Otis being the Money in the Bank winner.
Otis.
There you go.
Who didn't cash in his briefcase.
I know, right? And finally, the WWE UK Championship.
It is a beautiful belt.
It is great. So that was a pack of slam attacks that came with this. But I think we should open up a packet of stickers and see what we get in here.
How many stickers do we have in there?
There are 10 stickers a pack.
Okay, I'm going to say we're going to see one Seth Rollins. We'll probably see one Randy Orton. I don't know. Let's say Natalia's in there as well. And you know what? Let's say Nakamura.
Okay, so I'm going to let you choose now, because we have 4 variants of packaging. We've got one that's got Cena, Belair, and Bray Wyatt. We've got one that has Mandy Rhodes, that's in date, Seth Rollins, and Bobby Lashley. We've got, she's not called Mercedes now, she is rather, Sasha Banks, that was her name in WWE. Drew and Bailey. And then we've got Roman, Liv, and Big E. Which pack would you like me to open?
Let's go for Drew.
Drew? Okay. So we're going for the pack for Drew, Bailey, and Sasha. Oh, it's a good rip as well. Good. This is good content, this. So, let's see what we get. Okay. The way I'll do this is I'll hold up the... These stickers are awful. I'm just going to attempt to hold these up to the screen as I go along. So, first of all, we've got... I think that's Drew Gulak.
Yes, it is.
There you go. We have a screenshot from a match on NXT.
That's Tyler Bate versus, I think, looking at that I don't know who that is. That might be Cameron Grimes.
Well, there we go. Sure, Batista. Why not?
Why not? Why not?
We've got The Rock cutting a promo. Will he be there this weekend? Who knows?
Well, don't tell the Shazam fans. I think there'll be one. Nor have I, but I hear all about the drama. But anyway,
there you go. But we've got Natalia with her cat ears.
Yay! One Michaels.
I'm very okay. I'm going to come back to that sticker.
Is it the same? Is it the same sticker but in a different color?
No, not at all. We've got Shield Roman Reigns.
Did I say Reigns in my predictions? No, I didn't say Reigns.
No, there you
did
go. We also have Alexa Bliss in the Fun House thing. Firefly Fun House. Then we get to shiny stickers.
Ooh.
We have WrestleMania main eventer Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then we have, as our other shiny sticker, the NXT logo.
Yes! Just what I wanted.
But there is one other sticker that I got here.
Is it Michael Cole?
No. Okay, I'm going to present this without comment. And
Is
what
it
I'm
the
going to show
golden egg
you
from Survivor Series?
What I'm going to
Because if
show
it
you
is-
What I'm going to show you is the entire sticker. Just keep that in mind, all right? Are you ready?
Hang on. Well, that's low half of Daniel Bryan.
It's just Daniel Bryan's legs.
I'm not going to comment any further on this.
Well, let's make it known, people. I've been saying to Ian we should be doing this for about a year now. I think Ian was now completely justified in making sure that didn't happen until now. So with that in mind, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you had fun watching the show. Like I mentioned before, do hit the subscribe button and keep an eye out for new videos that will be coming out. We'll be talking about WrestleMania and our thoughts on both nights of the show next Wednesday night. At the time we are recording this, that being next week, I should be more specific. That will be from 8 p.m. UK time. If you want to find us on Twitter, our account is under the name BunkaMania UK. And good sir, if people want to drop us an email, what's the best way they can do that?
Well, you can spare an email all the way over to contact@bunkamania.com. Tell us what you think about WrestleMania, what you're looking forward to, and if you watch any of the other wrestling shows over the weekend. Don't forget, Friday on the audio-only podcast on all good podcast channels, such as Spotify, Amazon, that sort of places, you'll get the first episode of BunkaMania Wrestling Goes to the Movies.
So there we go, folks. And yeah, you never know. If you're unlucky, depending how good WrestleMania is, I might open another packet of stickers next week. Just saying.
Yay! Oh.
But with that being said, from myself, the giraffe, me, Jeremy Graves, from him, the Dekker Dane, Mr. Ian Bolton, thank you for watching this edition of BunkaMania Wrestling. Until next week, when we'll be talking about WrestleMania in its entirety, take care and have a good Mania weekend.
Enjoy!